Hello there!
I'm Veronica, that 90s chick, and holy smokes, there used to be more of us.
I'm Karen May. I'm back after a long time. Yay!
She's back from the
Rare
multiverse.
Pokemon.
And this is Adrian, that of the geeks, and you're watching and or listening to the brand new, all improved Nerd Rage! So yes, brand new, all improved, more casual, more
With
chill.
more multivitamin, fortified with vitamins.
Sorry, fortified with vitamins, tas gumagano. Why, Karen? Why? Why deliver us the goods?
Because I'm the eye candy of the group. Thanks.
Which is fair. And now that we're no longer in TV and no longer restricted by the antiquated and outdated standards set by the MTRCB, which will probably bleep, we can basically now do anything we want. Nerd Rage is now raw and uncut.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just so you guys know and everyone else listening and or watching,
Yes.
we're no longer at Rock of Manila TV, which was our home for I guess 2 years.
Yeah, thank you, Rock
3 seasons.
Manila.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Thank you to Miss Bea Cinto and
Thank you.
to Sir RJ Jacinto for having us. But yeah, we're not at Rock of Manila anymore simply because the channel itself is undergoing some changes.
We're on our own.
Yeah, so we all have had to move out and migrate. And
Like that.
Yeah,
Parang, you know when you
Yeah.
throw a bird and then they fly? That's us. We're in flight.
yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess. I throw a bird and all that. Yeah. But yun, well, Nerd Rage has been online even before that. And we're just going back to our real home where we can be,
Back in our roots.
Be honest.
yeah, unfiltered and honest. Yeah, raw.
Raw, uncut, bird taking flight.
Raw, uncut, and uncensored.
Bird.
There we go.
We are birds.
Karen, what's with birds?
Kasi we're taking flights. Like we're soaring and flying.
Like Icarus.
There's a star
Yeah,
that-
heaven that we can reach.
Baka maano tayo. Hindi ba ni kumanta?
No, pero yun. So that's what's happening with Nerd Rage. And of course, we're still going to be talking about, what's happening out there. But at the same time, we will be talking to some of the people we like. And hopefully you guys...
Yeah, some of our friends who happen to do famous things.
And awesome things, by the way. So now, again, we're not on TV anymore, and we don't have to play by those rules. So we can basically do anything we want now.
So as our inaugural gesture for this new version of Nerd Rage, what word can we finally say?
Cock, bitch, motherfucker, anus, ass licker, boot licker, medulla oblongata,
Patatas.
patata, sperm.
I was just thinking of fuck, but sure. I was just thinking of fuck.
Cunt, bitch, motherfucker. In the words of the great George Carlin, cunt, bitch, motherfucker.
Mother, father. Love your family.
Oh wait, pagdating sa Facebook.
Ooh, yeah, love your family.
But
Love
that's-
your family, motherfuckers.
Wait, pagdating sa Facebook, pwede pa rin tayong ma-flag because
It's
Mark
okay, we can
Zuckerberg.
bleep. Well, you guys bleep. I haven't been cursing.
Don't you guys hate it? Parang even on YouTube, people bleep themselves or
Or they find other things to say, like they're not
They
going to
use
say,
euphemisms,
yeah, it's
right?
like, oh, he didn't kill himself anymore. He's unalive.
yeah, I was so surprised about that. Parang now on the live is part of the
But also corn. It's corn.
What's court?
Corn.
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
corn.
corn. It's tug.
Di ba bao chika wow wow?
Oh, that's the corn hub.
Wow wow.
Yes, Corn Hub. Grabe,
Corn
titang
hub.
tita.
Bao chika wow wow.
So you haven't been to that site?
I don't know. I don't know. I
X
thought
hamster's the best.
I
X
thought
hamster
so.
forever.
I thought a corn
Di ba
You know what I'm
background.
talking
Wouldn't
about?
corn music be like bao chika wow wow? Is that not the thing anymore? Bao chika wow wow.
You haven't been to Corn Hub?
What for?
Yeah, she gets everything. Well, she gets everything she wants out of Archive of Our
Of
Own.
course, I read fanfics.
Yeah, she got everything she wants in Archive of Our Own.
There is nothing more powerful than your imagination.
No, kasi yung tug, tug,
I don't know.
it's the drum beat of
That's the
the...
intro.
I thought it was like a late night show, like.
Oh, no, like, so
Right.
if you go to Cornhub, and so weird to say that, if you go to Cornhub and you look, you select a video, the first thing you're going to hear is that.
It's not Bao Chico Wow Wow.
Not anymore.
It's the stinger music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how come it's Bao Chico Wow Wow before? Is it like archaic or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
70s porno music.
Is this something you guys do at gigs? Do you use the...
Oh, I've seen this this video on Facebook. A Christian congregation. So Sunday service, full band, diba? So the drummer just went tug, tug, tug,
Oh, no.
tug, tug. Everybody in the audience went "Ah!" Ganun. So now you know what those Christians have been
Very interesting.
watching.
Yeah.
When they're not watching The Chosen. They
Yeah,
watch
but
that.
just because I don't watch that doesn't mean I don't read fanfics, because fanfics provide all the, in
Stimulation.
yes, and like I just need my imagination.
So what's your favorite piece of fanfic that you've read
Man,
ever?
I can't do that.
Di ba
That's
gayuma?
a lot, yeah.
Iba gayuma?
Oh, yeah. Gayuma's the memorable one nga. Hi, Butch. Trece fans, no. Oh my goodness.
So, alright, yung guest natin this week is interesting because...
What a segue from corn to like our...
No. May segue.
Sige, go with transition.
No, wait, I can get this because coming off of this great discussion we have over corn and considering who this person is and what he's done, I can honestly say that one of the sexiest lines I have heard in the last 10 years is that it's never ogre
Talaga?
because Shrek is love.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
now. Shrek is love.
And speaking of Shrek, that's why our guest for this week is none other than Shrek himself, or the actor who's playing Shrek in the upcoming Shrek musical, or by the time you listen to this, the ongoing Shrek musical in Newport, no? Newport? Yeah,
New porn?
Newport.
New corn?
Anyway,
The new corn performing.
the great actor who's going to be playing Shrek in this musical, Jamie Wilson.
Yay! Our friend Jay.
Yes,
Hey,
Jamie.
Congrats on, bagging that role.
Yeah, so Jamie Wilson is back on Nerd Rage. And no, it's not Jamie Robinson, sorry. Pero Isabel Ortega, feel free to drop by. but
But he's also in Voltus 5, right?
yun nga eh. Parang, kasi the last time he was here,
Previously on Nerd Rage.
we have a person from the cast from Voltus 5 Legacy.
We have to bring in Jamie!
Jamie! Come on! It's Jamie! Wilson!
Jamie!
Wrong, Jamie.
So parang imagine the blue balls that the people watching the show.
Well, what he said, I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna enjoy those blue balls after Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life right on Cornhub.
Yeah, let's go for green balls, di ba?
Yeah, green balls.
Shrek's green balls.
Yeah, chewy green
Don't
balls.
say that
little
because I drink
slimy.
matcha and they're matcha balls.
Yeah, what do you think it's made out of?
Well, it's very, I would say, a grassy.
Exactly,
Oh,
and we know where Shrek lives, and we know what Shrek eats. We know what's in his diet and his composition.
Okay, on that note, what did you guys talk about with Shrek?
Yeah, parang what are we going to...
Yeah.
Intro pa lang to.
Okay, I just didn't know where to go from the balls. You guys can intro it.
Shrek, pasok! Jamie Wilson, come on down! Hello there, Adrian here, that of the geeks, and once again you are on Nerd Rage, and with me here is awesome singer, thespian, biker dude, soon to be ogre, Jamie Wilson.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me, man.
All right, thanks for dropping by Nerd Rage Central.
Hey, yeah, it's nice. It's great to be here. can actually hang out here for hours playing with all these like stuff behind me.
Even the stuff that you can't see. That we cannot see. No, we can't see because we're online. Look, there's stuff. Anyway, how have you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Been very busy lately. Theater's been very good. I just finished the Into the Woods show with Lea Salonga, and that's for Theater Group Asia. And right now, I am rehearsing for Shrek in Shrek the Musical. I'm going to be green, hence the no hair.
Oh.
I had to transform.
Siguro, right about now, we'll be parang deepfaking Shrek into your face. So people online will see how...
That'll do, Adrian. That'll do.
Oh, let's talk about Shrek later. I want to hear you do the Shrek. Sorry, that can be phrased better, or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Yeah. How was your Into the Woods experience?
Fantastic. Working with a great bunch of people, very talented, very hardworking, very passionate. And we grew into some, it's what's nice about being an actor. You never know who you're going to get in terms of, your castmates and your creatives, etc., etc. Pero yung masarap doon is, alam mong, since taga-teatro ka, may katok ka. O sana, magkakasundo lahat ng katok namin. And this is one instance I can say na all our katoks really got along really well. So it was as much fun as we were having on stage. It was also as much fun backstage in the process. So it's very rare. Like 100% of us were tight, and all our katoks got along. So it was quite interesting because you don't think maybe sometimes 90%, maybe 80%, pero hindi lahat kami. We got really tight and we became a family, and I would like to think it translated on stage when we did our sold out run of shows.
Congrats.
Thank you. But it was, fantastic. And fantastic working with, people like, Josh De La Cruz and, Ariel Jacobs with her take on Cinderella, where it was actually quite interesting. Even Josh's take on the wolf and the prince was interesting. And of course, the big bad witch, really, played by Lea Salonga. When you go to rehearsals with Lea Salonga, you automatically level your game. You have to level up your game because that's Lea you're going into the room with. And most of the time, I was just there, just stunned that I was in the same room as all these people. It's quite amazing because the sheer talent. Everybody brings something different to the table.
You've been doing theater for the longest time. You still feel that.
Yeah, it never goes away. It's like creating magic, and you need everybody there to believe in the magic. So if there's one person who does not believe in the magic, the job gets harder. But when everybody believes in the magic, then it not only is it easier, but it becomes more about what kind of magic can you make? What kind of, what level of magic can we reach? When you are all, committed to each and every person is committed to that magic.
Do you have a favorite moment from your run? Or
Plenty.
an unforgettable moment?
Well, my most unforgettable moment, because I've been assistant director to some of Lea's shows, or technical director. So I've always had to deal with her off stage, in terms of creating the show or putting the show together. And this time around, I was also the associate director, but I was also a cast member. So when we finally got to be in a scene together, to have Lea Salonga say, "Oh my God, it's so nice to be on stage with you." It's like, I can take that to the bank. You know what I mean? Or can I take that to the bank? But it's just like, it's so amazing that would come from her. And, the sheer generosity of somebody who has achieved so much, who is stellar in all, in all meanings of that word, right? To still be so grounded, so rooted, so she never forgets why she's doing it. Never gets in the way that she's Lea Salonga. To her, she's not Lea Salonga, she's just Lea. And that's another geek. Yeah, that's another geek.
Yeah,
That's a major gamer. That's another, so there are days where we'd be talking about Voltes 5. There are days where we're talking about like other super robots or like the K-pop Demon Hunter, series and all that. It's just quite interesting that you get to interact with these amazing people, you get to create with these amazing people. At the same time, you have interests that are outside the theater, that you have similarities.
That's where the real bond happens, when
Yep.
when it's interests outside.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so Into the Woods is quite a wild ride. We the fan we have fan art. We're getting fan art like every night. From the meet and greets. When we go down to sign programs and sign posters, I've had so many like keychains made out of like the steward character that I played. It's fantastic. It's so fantastic. I have yet to go through all of them because I transitioned to Shrek right away. But they're all in a bag, in my theater bag, and I have to like go through them one by one.
Ganda. Yeah, you receive this when you meet the
Yeah, when we meet the fans. And the fans from Into the Woods, the season pass holders, especially from Theater Group Asia. I met people who were bringing programs for me to sign from my shows more than 10 years ago. So you're like, dude, you're a serious theater person. Like somebody brought a program from Adam's Family when I played Uncle Fester. Somebody brought a program from Piaf. I played multiple characters there. Somebody brought a Virgin Lab Fest program for me to sign because they didn't catch me at the stage door when they watched, and they knew they were going to catch me at the stage door and Into the Woods. So they brought a program for me to sign. That's insane. You don't get this.
yeah.
You just don't get this if you're a theater performer. This has never happened to me in my 45 years in theater, and it's quite amazing to see that the fandom is as active as in theater as any Comic Con.
That's true.
People cosplayed. People were wearing red hoods or wolf ears when they went to watch Into the Woods. I've never seen that, man. Anywhere. That's awesome.
And the thing is, theater fandoms really as you said, as intense or maybe, parang intense in a different level, but similarly as, comic book fans or movie fans.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like this, that's what fandom is.
Yeah. I've just never been on the receiving end of it. Like I will line up at the Comic Con. I will attend the Comic Con. I will attend a toy fair. I watch plays, but more often than not, I know the people who are, on stage.
Right.
But I've never been on the receiving end of fan art or or gifts from fans. You're like, what? It's just strange.
Yeah. But speaking of, fandom, since we're already here, not a lot of people know that you are a hardcore geek yourself.
Not that hardcore. I can name a few people who are more hardcore, but I do like what I like. I'm a comic book collector. I love the films, certain films. I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. From Lord of the Rings to Harry Potter, I'm in love with that. I started out collecting comics when I was very young. I've just recently gone back to finding these reprints and original prints of. I'm a big X-Men collector, but then I also love some runs of Batman and some runs of Superman. I love the John Byrne Superman arc.
Oh.
When they sort of had to rebuild him from the ground up and not make him too powerful.
Yep.
I love that entire idea.
Yeah.
From Batman Year One, but Dark Knight Returns to Hush. Hush is one of my favorites. The story arcs of Batman. I love the super robots because I grew up with the super robots. I have a particular fondness for Voltes 5, naturally, because I was also on it. And soon we're going to be released on Netflix. Yay.
Just to clarify,
I was Commander Garth,
not Jamie.
not Jamie. And I was teased so much about my name growing up. But then, hey, this is the best revenge. I'm on Voltes 5. Oh. And I love Samurai X. I love I love what I love. So I'm a big fan of Mazinger Z, UFO Grandizer, Voltes 5, also Samurai X, Wolverine. I'm a particularly very big fan of Wolverine. I have most of his story arcs in the comic books. I just recently got a Mafex Wolverine in the Chris Claremont suit with the brown and the yellow, the muted yellow, the mustard yellow, which I think is great for translating into his stealth because I think the blue and the bright yellow is just a little bit too garish for me. I also got recently a McFarlane Batman Hush figure, simply because I just, there's so many I didn't realize when I Googled action figure Batman. Oh my goodness. Because I had no idea. I've never really have gone after these toys, not since I was in my teens. I was also a big Lego collector, so I had a GI Joe collection and a Lego collection. So whatever play sets I could not afford, I would create them from my Lego. Like I couldn't afford the aircraft carrier, so I'm like, yeah, but I have Lego, so let's have my GI Joes play in the Lego. But I digress. So when I Googled Batman action figure, I did not realize just what a world I was, what a rabbit hole I was going to traverse. So I said, okay, I had to be very specific about my search. So naturally, I went back to the comics. What my favorite arc is Dark Knight Returns, but I don't exactly like. I wouldn't want that physically represented as an action figure on my shelf if I were just to buy one. That's my condition. I can only buy one. One. Because if not, I want to have all this. I don't have space. So I can only buy one. So which one would I want? And Batman Hush would be the most classic iteration of the Batman comics that I would be reading, and I like the Hush storyline. So that's what I got.
So you like the small pointy-eared
I
Batman?
like the small pointy-eared Batman. It's more practical in terms of a fighting approach. With the long ears, you can hold on to that, and if you maneuver somebody's head, then you can maneuver the rest of them.
Right.
I do like the slight yellow, the hints of yellow. I don't like the all black. I don't like the all black. I like the blue and the gray and the yellow, but the muted, not the bright of Adam West. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I don't like the all black because that's so ninja.
So how did you feel when you first saw the Michael Keaton Batman all black?
Well, I loved it because that was the first cinematic representation that got it right. You're like, damn, that Batmobile also is one of the most iconic Batmobiles. Everybody was like, Michael Keaton, really? As Batman? And I'm like, no, more importantly, when you see them out of the mask, it's Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne.
Right.
That's because whoever puts on the cowl, it's the cowl we're watching. You know what I mean? So can he pass? It's like the casting of Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, he's so Peter Parker. I get that. And then when you see, Spider-Man in the full suit traipsing around, that's a stuntman or that's computer. But it works because him as the actual secret identity is selling it, right? I love the Michael Keaton Batman. In fact, that's another Shrek conversation. Funny enough, Michael Keaton Batman, we actually connected it with our Shrek conversation because for Shrek, I'm wearing prosthetics, right? So it's not only a full face casting, but it's also a full cowl casting because it's the whole head because his ears are, Shrek's ears are up here. And what do we do with my ears? I have to be able to hear also on stage. It's a musical. So our guy in charge of prosthetics, his name's Carlos. So we were having a conversation in front of our producers, and our producers were clueless because they're not of this world. So I said, okay, so we're casting as a full cowl. All right. Is it going to be a Michael Keaton cowl? Or will I be able to turn my head? And Carlos got it instantly. Michael Keaton, sir. So you have to get used to turning with your shoulders. And our producers were like, huh? What do you mean, Michael Keaton? What? What are you talking about? It's like, we speak the same language. We'll be okay.
Also, very physical,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's going to be like this. Because to preserve the details of the prosthetics. But that's Batman going into a real day conversation about Shrek. Right there. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. That just happened last week.
I can't wait to see how you look on stage performing that.
Me too. I haven't tried on the whole thing. I've tried on my costume and I have been cast, but I haven't put it all together yet. But I'm anticipating little things. The difficulty of the movement. Whenever we run through our rehearsals, I'm wearing a t-shirt and a sweater just to acclimatize myself for the added layers that will make me perspire. If I perspire too much, it'll affect the prosthetics. All these little things, aside from learning your lines and your music and your choreography and your blocking, these are things that you have to consider. I'm basically going to be a walking, running, acting, singing mascot
Right.
in Shrek.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to figure out the logistics and the mechanicals of how to best do that in the suit, in the cowl, and I can't, this is the one thing that I'm completely, that's geeking me out. It's just that conversation with our prosthetics guy about the Keaton cowl. Okay, I get a chance to put this on and do a 2-hour show and sing and speak and laugh and cry and run and fight a dragon in that suit. It's like being asked, can you do Darth Vader? I need you to shoot this scene as Darth Vader. I'm like, or Chewbacca. Sure. I'm so there. So I get a chance to be on the receiving end of these industries, the suit, the costume, the cowl, the casting. My God, man, when they cast you, that's an hour and a half I can't move, because it has to be perfect and you have to take it off, et cetera, et cetera. So it's actually quite interesting to see how that things that you've only seen on screen or on television is now happening to you as an actor. And it's such a trip.
Does this mean that your call time's much earlier than
Yes. Yes. It's also one of the reasons why I shaved my head. This is going to preserve the integrity of the adhesion of the prosthetics. And it'll also save me about 45 minutes to an hour getting out of. And they were originally thinking, okay, let's put a bald cap on you. But my hair is so thick. And I'd never liked the way bald caps look because you look like sort of alienish, almost cone-headish. So I'd rather just shave my head. And it helps also get into character. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not, it's an ogre. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, yep, you're Shrek. Sometimes I forget, this is a week old. The day after I shaved my hair off, I woke up the morning, starting my day, took a shower, washed my face, absent-mindedly got my hairbrush, and hurt myself by trying to brush my hair. I forgot, I have no hair na pala. When you're half asleep, that wakes you up. But it's part of your job as an actor.
because you're one of the best looking hairs ever. Hairs hair.
Thank you.
Such lush
Yeah.
locks, right?
But it was easy to shave off. I mean, that's the one thing about being an actor. You're not in charge of your looks. When you're not working, yes, you are. But when you commit to a play, if it demands you are clean shaven or that you curl your hair or that you shave your head off, that's what the role demands. That's what the role demands. It's fairly easier in one sense than, for example, if Hollywood came knocking and you have to get into superhero shape. That would be harder than shaving my head off, pare. Imagine, you gotta work out and you gotta train and all that. Although that's exciting, but at the same time, that would be much harder.
Yeah, like 6 hours a day, every day. And that's not even the shoot pa.
That's not even the shoot.
Yeah.
That's just getting into shape
Yeah.
for the shoot, which is great. But this was easy. I'd shave my head. I'm an ogre. Paint me green.
I've always been curious to hear what Shreky sounds like.
Well, the thing is, Adrian, the actual accent of Shrek is not a specific Scottish accent. It's a Mike Myers invention. So in the beginning, when you start speaking like what you think Scottish is, and if you're going for authenticity, it's not it because that's his invention. So it has to be a mixture of what you can speak clearly on stage and sing. Because singing is a different animal, right? Pitching your voice a little low because, Shrek speaks in a low, he's an ogre. You also have to consider how can your audience understand you? So you just choose some sounds, some words that you will inflict. And once you get used to that, then hopefully it translates. I've been doing it in rehearsals. I don't know how it's gonna be when I have everything on. So I've also actually been exaggerating my acting in rehearsals because you realize you're playing a cartoon. So how do you act? So and plus I'm wearing all these layers. So you have to exaggerate a little bit to see, okay, tatagos ba yung acting ko past the prosthetics? How does that happen? I don't know yet because we're not at that stage of rehearsals yet.
I want to hear you say donkey.
Donkey, 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 donkey. It's donkey. Donkey! Stop that. I'm not interested. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. You get it? We both have layers.
I'm getting this parang up close. Parang, ang ganda.
Dude, Donkey is being played amazingly by Topper Fabregas. And the biggest challenge for me, because most of our scenes are together, is whenever I look at him, I want to laugh. Because he's so galing. And I'm so annoyed because like I keep on like breaking character and laughing. And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be masungit.
Right.
I'm supposed to be an ogre, but he's so good that I get sanaya lang yan. Sanaya. The more often, the thing is, once you get used to him, he'll pull out something new. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, so is he doing his own accent or is he putting on
It's a mixture of, it's an homage.
Okay.
Because once again, you have to bring some of your thing into it. Right? Or to make it yours. But at the same time, you're playing such an iconic character. So his accent is actually a really good homage to Eddie Murphy via Topper. And I'm imagining that would also be my Shrek, would be a good homage to Mike Myers via me.
Right.
Because when I speak it, it has to make sense to me. Why is he saying these things? Why is he singing these things? With just enough that it's not a completely alien or different take. You have to be Shrek, but you also have to be understood.
Theater audiences have always known you to be an intense actor. So Shrek is something like, it's the most comical thing you've ever done. So where do you find that intensity in Shrek? And do you find that you have something in common with Shrek?
I have a lot of things in common with Shrek. There is one particular song that I have a hard time singing because I end up crying because it hits close to home. And the lyrics just hit so close to home. I identify with Shrek so much because, I've never been the most guapo guy. Right. I've always been looked upon as a contrabida or a very intense guy or a very unapproachable guy, which, honestly, I'm the opposite. I'm a fucking teddy bear.
I used to be afraid of you.
Yeah, I know. See, I don't know why. Right? Once you get to know me, I'm okay. I'm like Jessica Rabbit says, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Right? And, when Shrek always said, people judge me before they get to know me. When they see me, it's a big, stupid, ugly ogre. But that's just how I was born. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The intensity of Shrek is that you have to root this character, even if he's a cartoon, right? And even if he's known as the most comedic, you never play for comedy. That's one of the rules. You can't try to be funny because you'll never be funny. And Shrek is rooted in very, very deep and intense emotions. He's a loner. He wants to be alone. That's why he goes on this quest to get his swamp back because he's been invaded by all these fairy tale creatures. And then along the way, he doesn't expect to find friendship with Donkey. He doesn't expect to be sent on a quest to rescue a princess. He certainly doesn't expect to fall in love. And that's just our journey throughout life. Each and every one of us wants to be accepted for who we are. And these days more so. And if you don't like where your life is going, you can actually change your stars. You can rewrite your own story. You can take ownership of your own story. Yes. There's a line also in the show, fairy tale should really be updated. A princess and an ogre, I admit it's complicated. Fairy tale should really be updated. And yes, in these days, the Cinderella doesn't always have to end up with Prince Charming because she can choose, right? And so can he. So I think that's the most empowering thing with how this musical is written. You can choose your own story. You don't like your story, you can rewrite your own story. And please, dear Lord, you should be the hero of your own story. You can't make anybody else the hero. That would be ridiculous.
Right.
You know?
It's your life.
It's your life. So I think that's where the roots of our characterization, our commitment to the story, how we're telling it. Even if I'm a green ogre, and even if Topper is a donkey, in a donkey costume, right? Even if I'm green, yeah, it's as real as we possibly can make it, in using our own personal truths and how we relate to it. And it's hopefully we have some laughs along the way and make it fun. I'm laughing all the time, but that's Topper's fault. I can't. That's why our director Dexter Santos said, "Jamie, parang you're so happy as an ogre in the beginning." I'm like, I know it's Topper. It's Topper. I'm sorry. I have to get used to this so I don't laugh.
Uh,
You know, but it's rooted in everybody in this show wants something. They want to be accepted. They want friendship. They want love. They want to be accepted for who they are. They want to be able to change their stories. Even Farquaad he's the hero in his story, and he wants everybody to have identical clothes, and he wants to, what I mean, be in charge because he's never had any power before growing up. So he's the hero in his story. So I can be a hero in my story, and you should be a hero in your story.
is that how you attack your characters every time you take on a role? That they are the heroes of their own story?
Yes. It's different because if you are, for example, Into the Woods, with a lot of characters, right? Once again, it was once upon a time in the far off kingdom, with it's fairy tale creature season for me. If you should know the arc of your own story, but you should also be aware where you fit in the story. So there's two stories you're telling, and your own story enhances and contributes to the story that the entire show is telling. So you have to be aware of that, where your personal character arc is going. And then when you step back, how does your character arc affect everybody else in telling the story? What is what do you represent? What function do you fulfill in the story? For example, as the steward was the servant of the parang close-in servant of Prince Charming, right? Who was chasing after Cinderella throughout the entire Act One, and he was helping Prince Charming as much as he could. But he also fulfills a function of what function does he fulfill when you point a mirror to society? What is the steward? So I take a look at that also. I fulfill the trabaho lang. I fulfill I have a little bit of power. So if I'm talking to the baker and the baker's wife, who have no status, right, in this kingdom, I'm a little bit more snobero, and I'm more like, oh, excuse me, you're poor. Diba? Because the steward has a little power. Even though he's not royalty, he's given power and authority by his association with royalty. So you also stitch that together, and it's fun because you're building a world, you're building a person, and the world you build has to be real, so that the audience will believe it. So even in the fairy tale creature land, like for example in Shrek, there are hierarchies, like the three bears versus the three little pigs, versus there's a big bad wolf there, versus the wicked witch is also there. There's also Pinocchio there. There's a hierarchy even amongst them, but they're united because Farquaad exiled them. So, you have to base it on real emotions, real wants, real needs, even if you're playing a fairy tale creature. And that's what's interesting. With every role I take on, I try to make them as real as possible. Where is this person coming from? What does he want? What does he need? How does he go to the banyo? What kind of shoes, what does he wear? What's the first thing he thinks of when he wakes up in the morning? You know?
Kasi in El Vivo, your character, me stillness to your character.
Yes.
So parang that's why I'm looking forward to Shrek kasi parang it's the total opposite
Yes.
of how
Especially like Shrek is so used to, like, he's very wary of big crowds of people because it's always grab your torch and pitchforks. So he likes being alone. Then he has to go out into the world. So he doesn't know the social boundaries. He doesn't know the social agreements between him and Donkey. Is just violating every single personal space rule he has. How does he do that? How does he deal with that? In El Bimbo, I was very still because I had personal power. I could either kill you or have you killed as the contrabida. So I didn't have to move around that much because I have nothing to prove. I didn't have to lift a finger. Hawak ko buhay mo. So bakit ako mag-e-effort gumalaw? Papawisan pa ako. Versus Shrek going, what's going on? I have to climb a tower to save a princess to get my swamp back? Fine.
I like that very studied approach to acting kasi recently viewers were reminded of this when they saw how David Corenswet, Superman, approached acting. Yung behind the scenes video of him arguing with James Gunn about the final scene.
Yeah.
Parang don't I feel shouldn't I be scaling back my behavior because by this time I've gotten my lesson from Pocket, so therefore dapat ganyan, and James Gunn is insistent na ganito ganyan. So you're also like that. You approach roles like that.
I approach her. I try not to argue the director.
Okay.
Because the director on set is God.
Of course.
But if it's something to do with my character that I feel that is either being ignored or made contra or it's not being featured enough, I will. That's one of the beauty of rehearsals, is you can try certain things. And if your director doesn't give you a note on it, okay, this is where I'm going. On film, it was different. Like, for example, in Encantadia, I found myself inadvertently messaging our head writer, si Dr. Lero. And I was saying, okay, so we're shooting the scene where, I'm wondering if this is a spoiler. Anyway,
Spoiler alert.
we were shooting a scene that directly affected my character Edno's relationship with Mitena. Okay. Which I had been debating about for I don't know how many episodes. And it turns out that I am coming to a resolution. And this when I got the script for that day, I felt like it was kulang. Because this is how I started my character arc. And I feel like this is kulang. So I messaged Mrs. Z directly saying, Mrs. Z, can I say something like this? But of course in English because my Tagalog sucks, right? Pero if you can write and change my lines or add my lines that have this kind of sensibility. And she said, okay, tama yan, Jamie. Ito yung sabihin mo. And then she also sent it to the prod, so it's approved, right, by our head writer. And then everybody was laughing because even I was laughing at myself because I just literally asked for more lines for me to memorize. And taking that day. But since it made more sense for my character and featured my emotional arc more, it felt like I needed to reach out and ask for help, for permission, for can we say something like this? And thankfully they agreed. And that's a great relationship because it didn't make contra the vision of the writer, nor did it make contra the vision of the director, and nor did it make contra my character. So, that it dovetailed very well because, it was coming from a place where, as an actor, I knew I was coming from. Some actors will try things which might get approved, which will not get approved sometimes because you have to also see the overall vision of your director. So him arguing with James Gunn, that's a healthy relationship where you feel like you can speak up and say, I don't think my character would do that. There was another instance in Encantadia where, I was supposed to be just casually sitting on the throne. And I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm not power hungry. I never imagined, my character Edna never imagined himself as the leader. I would support a good leader. So I wouldn't. So my director's like, okay, so what do you want? Can I sit on the foot of the throne? Not on the throne, but just down, right there on the dais. And then can I do the scene from there? And he's like, oh, actually, mas magandang angle yun. Oh, then it works. You know what I mean? So little things like that. That's what a good creative working environment would be like if you can actually suggest certain things. But you also have to be aware of the fine line of over suggesting or taking control away from the creatives, because you technically are not a creative. You, as the job description of an actor is to act as directed, technically, but I can contribute more to that. In terms of understanding my character, understanding where I'm coming from, and if I know where I'm coming from, then I know where I'm going within my story. Hopefully, it fits into the story.
So in that case, how are you with notes?
Great.
Oh,
I appreciate notes.
interesting.
Give me notes, man. Give me notes, because I learn what to do by doing things I shouldn't or I wouldn't. I learn from the mistakes. That's why I love a rehearsal process. And the more notes you give me, then the closer we're going to get to what you want and what I can deliver.
Mm.
Because if you don't give me notes, then you're going to leave me to my own devices. And I'm like, oh, what if I wake up in a weird mood tomorrow and I tried this? Yung pala hindi. Or what if I can totally go off tangent? Yung pala, you like that? I don't know. But any notes you give me will guide me, get me closer to what you want as a director.
But di ba other actors are not fond of notes, diba?
I don't know why. Because if you don't get notes from the director, it means he's not paying attention to you. And that kind of sucks. Right?
Right.
Or you're doing everything so perfectly already that your director leaves you be. So what's the excitement in that? I mean, if you get it on day one, you have one more month pa before you open. Ang gagawin mo? Diba? So para sa akin, maganda yung notes. Kahit na maliit lang na notes na, Jamie, can you turn a little sooner? Yes. And then I will feed that I will give that a reason. Why am I turning sooner? And then how do I turn? Sometimes there's a stage turn, sometimes there's a direct turn, sometimes there's a more pronounced turn, how to turn. So it's something that you can apply the next day. And the more notes that you apply, the better the notes get. Because then instead of getting it right, or when you do get it right, that your director likes it already, then you can take more risks creatively. Then it becomes, what if we do this? Rather than, hindi, kailangan pumunta ka dito muna, tapos ganyan. All of a sudden, it becomes, what if we try this? And we do this? Oh, let's see. Then it becomes a playful sense of discovery, and you never know what can happen. And for me, that's exciting. If you get stuck into routine, yes, you lock your show in as much as you can, because you never know. Your line, or when you turn or when you move, can be a technical cue. It's something your co-actor is expecting. It's something your director dictated. So you lock your show. But that sense of play, that sense of being on the edge of danger is still what makes it exciting and still what makes it fun. So that's the dilemma naman when you open. How can you maintain that sense of danger and playful fun while maintaining and locking all of what you rehearsed? And that's internal. Then it becomes internal.
I'm getting the sense na for you, acting is a playpen. Because you like exploring.
It's the best playground in the world, man. You get to build worlds. You get to build people. You get to fill in intellectual and emotional reasons for this character to exist and move through this world. You have to invent, or sometimes it's written for you, goals and motivation and why you're doing it. I call it paid therapy. Because you can work out, I can work out. I have issues. I just got to do a show. Then I'm fine. Because I get to work out all my crap on stage and then get paid for it. And I have that veneer of protection that, oh, it's a role. But I'm working out a lot of my insecurities by playing Shrek. I'm working out me rewriting my own story, me being recently stuck in where am I going in my own life. I'm working that out by doing Shrek. I'm seeing parts of Shrek that I can wait. You're playing this kind of scene. Jamie, you should apply this to your real life.
And you get to learn from that.
And I get to learn from that and I get to apply it as much as I can in real life. The scary thing about applying it in real life is that that ending hasn't been written. Shrek the musical, the ending is written. So you know how that's going to turn out. But if I apply that choice in real life, I don't know what's going to happen. But, hopefully it turns out to be for the good.
Yeah, and in this case, your director doesn't, well, at least the director of your life doesn't do the speaking from a boom speaker anymore.
Jamie, you need to turn left.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that these days.
Yeah.
So, silent director na talaga.
But it's so much fun. That's why I've been doing it for 45 years. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. And I'm lucky I'm able to do it. I'm blessed to be able to love what I do and do what I love. It's not work. I go out. We have 7-hour, 8-hour rehearsals. And that's 8 hours of being in a playground. And I go home and I'm exhausted. I sleep well. I get to wake up the next day and do it all over again. It's so much fun.
Is your, you are also a rock musician. You're a singer.
Yeah.
You sing rock, and one of the more ballsy rock singers that I know. And do you consider that as an extension of you as, an onstage performer?
Yes, that's me. The beauty about being able to sing with a band is I get to be myself or whatever version of myself on that stage. Because in theater, my job description is also I have to be somebody else. So when I sing with my band, then I can be whoever I want to be. Or whatever version of me is who I am at that moment. Am I sad? Am I hungry? Am I lonely? Am I pissed off? And it's okay. Because it's a gig. In a show, I'm required to be somebody else. But there's always some piece of me inside those roles. But I'm not speaking my words and I am not threading my own story. That story's been written. In a gig, it's just a set list, and the set list can change. Depending on how you feel tonight, let's play this song, not that song. I do that. I get to express myself on that stage.
Some musicians or some artists have said that parang to be a rock singer compared to other genres, to be a rock singer, you have to have a certain presence about you. Is that something you consciously channel being an actor yourself, or were you just born that way?
Actually, I think it's a combination of both. But it does take effort for me to lessen that presence. We're Filipinos. We live in Manila. I am 6 foot, 250 pounds. It's hard for me to be stealth, dude. You know what I mean? Plus with the shaved head or the way I usually look with my full-on goatee, etc., etc. There are times where I'm very aware of who's getting the attention. In a group dynamic, when we're out with, in a party or a club or a bar, I try to expend some effort lessening that because I will have naman my time on stage. So I don't have to be the bida in the conversation either. I don't have to be the bida in the party either. I don't have to be the center of attention. So it's a conscious lessening of that presence because I get to express myself on stage. So I would rather turn the spotlight on somebody else, somebody who's not used to getting it, or I will pay more attention to the person who's been quiet usually I'm gonna pull, you out of your shell and we're gonna talk. You know what I mean? I would rather that. I love engaging with, interesting people. I mean, that's one of the perks of my job. I meet new, weird, interesting, crazy people. And I just want to know if my crazy and your crazy will get along. But yeah, lessening of the presence is, for me, just as important as putting it on. When I put it on, I've been told that it's terrifying to behold. I don't know what that means.
Or magnificent?
I don't know.
When you're singing, I'd argue it's magnificence.
When I'm singing with a band, it's just I don't put that on. It's like in theater. I've always said that I put a little rock and roll in my theater and a little theater in my rock and roll. When I'm singing a song, I need to put myself in the emotional space of that song, whether I'm doing musical theater or whether I'm singing the blues. I have to be true to the emotional intention of that song. Everything else, just everything else. The way I stand, the way I hold the microphone, the sheer scale of me on a stage, because I'm larger than your regular human being, at least here in Manila. It's not something I consciously put on because I have to commit to being emotionally true to the song I'm singing. And everything else just sort of is danger. It's not some people, I know some artists who have a public and a private persona. I seem to have a mixture of both, in private and in public, much to the dismay of my wife. Sometimes she's like, I can't believe you said that in an interview. I'm like, from being honest, the honesty is our thing, truth is our thing. Like, not that much, you know what I mean? Or be careful of who you're talking to. But I've never been one to do that. I am unapologetically myself, because this is where my heart is leading me. This is how I was raised. This is how I've learned. I've made tremendous mistakes in my life, and for some reason, I'm still here. The powers that be, the universe, the gods, have determined that I am still here on this earth. So it's either I have yet to complete the quest that they have put me on, in this life, or B, I'm doing something right that I'm still allowed to continue doing it. So for me, in terms of engaging in a journey, wherever your path may lead, whether it be performing, theater, stage, film, accounting, engineering, the most important thing to do is, you should love what you do, but also pay attention to why you're doing it. Because for me, the returns of being a performer, I feel great. I feel so at home on stage, whether it be as myself or as a character. What is important for me also is what message am I sending out? I'm very picky about what projects I do, simply because the message has to be correct. Like when I did Ang Huling El Bimbo, the message was, please don't vote for people who are like Arturo Banlao, like my character. Stop voting them into power. That was the message I wanted to send out at the time. Me playing Shrek is telling everybody you can be a hero in your own story if you so wish. You don't have to be an ogre. Or you know what? An ogre can be a hero. You can do that. Because there might be one person out there who needs to hear that. There might be one person in the audience or watching this right now who might need that reminder that, yeah, you can change your stars. You can write your own story and, just rewrite it for good reasons. That's what's terrifying, because you don't know who's watching you at any given time. But it's also the most rewarding when people come up to you and say, dude, I'm around. I'm doing what I love to do because I saw that you were able to do it. That's like, wow, it's a huge deal.
one final question. Boy Abunda levels.
I was expecting this. Go for it.
Because you're already, you're already saying about parang what you wanted to say with this character and that character. What? I can't believe I'm going there. Full Boy Abunda.
Oh.
What are you saying about, or what do you want to say to people about Jamie Wilson?
Oh, wow.
Kuya boy.
You can do whatever you want to do if you are willing to put the work into it. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what educational degree you've reached or what piece of paper has or has not been given to you as a pedigree in your life or as a certification that you have finished a certain level. You can do whatever you want. And it's never been more apparent than it is today. A lot of people who have spent all this time earning college degrees have gotten out of school and have engaged in successful careers that have nothing to do with what they took up in college. Don't trust your teachers. Find out for yourself. Don't trust the internet. Find out for yourself. Cultivate good relationships with people who will be honest with you, who will not be afraid to tell you that you're wrong and why you're wrong, who will also not be averse to arguing with you or you arguing with them. Be as real as you can be, whatever that may mean at any given moment. But if you can, be kind, be generous, and be understanding of where you're coming from and where that other person is coming from. It's like that meme. We're all struggling. We all have struggles. Our struggles are different. You may be having a good day, the other person might not be. So is it so important that you win today? Or perhaps if you're already winning at life or with love or with your chosen profession, would it be so much to let somebody else win for today? If you cannot find something that makes you happy, you can be somebody that makes you happy and make other people happy. You have the power to do that. And that's, Jamie Wilson on any given day. Wow. That's
what makes natulala talaga ako. But that's what makes you and what parang whatever you're saying as an actor, that's why it resonates with people because of that core driving principle that you want to show and tell to your audiences. And with that, mahirap nang dagdagan pa yan. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for dropping by Nerd Rage Central. Please invite our listeners and viewers.
Okay, hey guys. Shrek the Musical, we open on October 31st. That's at the Newport Performing Arts Theater at Newport World Resorts. You can get your tickets on their website or at Ticket World. We have a gala opening on November 5th, and it's going to be a green carpet affair. Or so I'm told, because I want to be backstage. I'm not even going to be outside. I don't know. But it's going to be a lot of fun. You can bring the whole family. It's perfect for kids. And for the kids at heart, it's going to be a lot of fun. So come and watch.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you so
you,
much
sir. Thank you.
for being here. This is Adrian, that of the Geeks, and you were just joined by Jamie Wilson.
Thank you.
Wilson, not Robinson. Wilson. Arguably better.
Hello.
Pagod ako dun kay Shrek.
Pinagod kayo ni Shrek. Kamusta?
Laki.
Oh. Where's the other, interviewer?
Oh,
How was-
I watched from a distance.
Okay, yeah. How was Shrek?
I know. It's always fun catching up with Jamie Wilson because he's one of the funniest guys, but also one of the actors I personally really admire. Plus he's a nerd.
Yeah, what was the highlight of that convo?
The first time I heard him do the Shrek voice.
Did he nail it?
Yes, he did. So
He nailed who? What?
Jamie nailed me.
Yes, that's it. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, that's why I kept
nailed me,
setting it up.
Kaya napagod ako. No, but no, check out Jamie nailing me. No. And check out
On Cornhub?
Yes, on Pornhub. And also an archive of our own.
AO3.
Like, it was so great because I was watching in the corner over there and it came to a point where I just bled in because they didn't even notice me. They were just so caught up. It was so
I
sweet.
feel like I missed a lot of context.
as I was saying, so check out Jamie Wilson in his fully fledged Shrek glory.
Pledge.
It starts October 31 and it runs until December. So check him out as Shrek.
Okay, this is probably not going to make it to the show, but could you read this out loud for me, for all of us here? It's probably not going to make it to the show, but please read.
Me or Karen?
You, dramatic reading.
Oh my.
How dramatic you? I need my motivation.
You are lost, confused, and you were seeking salvation.
I was only 9 years old. I loved Shrek so much. I had all the merchandise and movies. I'd pray to Shrek every night before I go to bed, thanking for the life I've been given. Shrek is love, I would say. Shrek is life. My dad hears me and calls me a faggot. I knew he was just jealous for my devotion of Shrek. I called him a cunt. He slaps me and sends me to go to sleep. I'm crying now and my face hurts. I lay in bed and it's really cold. A warmth is moving towards me. I feel something touch me. That's Shrek. And I'm so happy. He whispers in my ear, "This is our swamp." He grabs me with his powerful ogre hands and puts me on my hands and knees. I spread my ass cheeks for What the hell? Sige, panindigan natin. I spread my ass cheeks for Shrek. He penetrates my butthole.
Help me.
It hurts so much. Tapusin mo tati.
No.
Tapusin mo.
Like, where? I don't want to talk about butt stuff.
Here, I'll read it. He penetrates my butthole. It hurts so much, but I do it for Shrek. I can feel my butt tearing as my eyes start to water. I push against his force. I want to flee Shrek. He roars a mighty roar as he fills my butt with love. My dad walks into the room. Shrek looks at him in the eyes and says, "It's all ogre now." Shrek leaves through my window. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
See guys, this is the new and improved Nerd Rage. So don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, smash whatever. If you're on Facebook, please follow our page. If you're on Instagram, follow our page. Of course, I never give the page name. So on YouTube, it's Nerd Rage page. Facebook, Nerd Rage page. Instagram, same, Nerd Rage page.
Yes. This is what I came back for.
Buttholes.
Nerd Rage is love. Nerd Rage is life.
And we'll see you next week.
I'm Veronica, that 90s chick.
I'm Karen May. I'm kind of traumatized.
And I'm Adrian, Datu of I have no idea why we still continue this. And you guys just watched
Nerd Rage!
Nerd Rage PH is produced, recorded, and released by Hypertime Media Productions. You can check out Nerd Rage PH over at Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Nerd Rage PH.